After spending 4 days here in Kuching, we decided to check out 3 of the most beautiful national parks that can be visited as day trips. We'll be hiking Kuching's most scenic trails, challenging ourselves to climb up a mountain, and discovering the unique biodiversity in some of the richest tropical rainforests in the world.
I'm sweating like crazy right now.
We saw more than just sea stag.
We saw dolphins. This is one of the toughest trails that we have gone on.
I found a rafflesia.
Bako National Park would be the first stop of 3 national parks we'll be visiting. It is relatively convenient from Kuching City and boasts some of the most varied habitats in the whole of Borneo. After a relatively pleasant drive from the city, we arrived at the ferry terminal to begin our journey towards Kuching's most famous national park.
So we are now at Bako National Park. It's super exciting, it's a super nice day. You can check out the blue skies right there at the back of me. I think it's going to be a pretty fun adventure.
Each of these national parks are very different, and today here at Bako National Park we have 3 objectives. The first is to see proboscis monkey, the second is to see bearded pigs, and the third is to see the sea stags. So the third one we know we definitely will see because the sea stag is there, but for the first 2 we have to hunt for them.
After a quick registration at the visitor center, we opted for what the ranger called one of the most scenic walks at Bako National Park. This walk involves going on the white trail and then a little of the red loop before ending at Telok Pandan Kecil. But instead of finding proboscis monkeys or bearded pigs, all we see are warning signs around the park.
We just saw our first animal, and that was a crab. Actually many crabs. And this is the first time that we are seeing such tiny crabs with one claw larger than the other. Initially I thought they were scorpions because I thought the claw was their tail. It's quite interesting.
I'm sweating like crazy right now. We just came across an ant trail and Shah is really fascinated by it.
Ants are very hardworking and a lot of people aspire to be like them. I read somewhere that ants actually aren't that hardworking. Half of them are pretending to work hard.
I guess that is correct because after reading this article, I learned that many ants just go about their days just freeloading.
We've hiked up through the tree line and then there's an open space right here. Super beautiful, let's go check it out.
One of the reasons why we felt this was the most rewarding hike in Kuching is the fact that you can experience different types of terrain all in one trail. At the start, we were walking through the mangroves, then we were navigating through the dense mixed dithyrocard forest, and now we are in the open shrubland. If you know why sand can be seen inside these whole pockets formed at the top of these hills, let us know in the comments below.
I feel like we are on Mars right now because there is water and the water is orange. I thought it was my sunglasses at first, but I'm wearing black sunglasses, so it's the water.
We've walked for about 30 minutes so far. We are about halfway there. This trail is probably the most beautiful trail of Kuching, I would say.
This is so pretty. We can see like the whole landscape from here, and you can see Mount Santubong right over there in between all the trees. So pretty. I think we are approaching the beach very soon. I can't wait to see the sea stack.
A lot of the views at Bako National Park reminded me of our visit to Crater Mountains in Tasmania. While the vegetation and climate may be different, we had a rather enjoyable experience walking through this quaint and scenic national park. At the end of the trail, we knew we had to get down to the beach and continue our journey by boat to get close to the sea stacks. Sea stacks are geological landforms shaped by the forces of wind and sea. And we are saddened by the fact that we are among the last few groups to be able to see the iconic Cobra Head before it collapsed in February this year. Its collapse goes to show that rocks are objects that are still very much alive, a reminder of the perpetual cycle of change and renewal that characterizes our natural world. Before it left, our guide took us on a mini detour. While our quest to find proboscis monkeys or bearded pigs were futile, sighting dolphins at Bako National Park essentially made up for our entire experience here.
What an adventure! The sea stack was unimaginable. Like, I've seen them through the pictures, but seeing them in person and up close on the boat, that's totally different. And we saw more than just sea stacks.
We saw dolphins. I was super crazy excited for that. And that was just the bonus, the icing on the cake.
Knowing that we had some spare time left before we head out of Bako National Park, we stumbled across a troop of macaques hanging near the visitor center.
We just got back. I really enjoyed myself today.
It was super fun. Thankfully it didn't rain, but it's super hot. I think it's like 33.
I'm expecting it to be raining in the afternoon, but it seems like there's still blue skies all around and the heat never abated.
So we wanted to see the proboscis monkey, we didn't see that. We wanted to see the bearded pig, we didn't see that.
But we saw dolphins as well as macaques. Let's get back, shower, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Legend has it that Mount Santubong was once a heavenly princess turned into a mountain range by an angry deity to separate them from their lovers. When viewed from afar, its silhouette looks like a face of a woman lying on her back. Mount Santubong is no ordinary mountain. As we drove closer and closer to the national park, the imposing terrain of this national park dawned upon us that this is no easy hike. In fact, it is Kuching's most challenging hiking trail. Certainly, not for the faint-hearted.
I think we are doing the most ambitious thing in Kuching so far, which is to climb up Mount Santubong. This trail is not the easiest trail in the entire world. In fact, it is one of the hardest ones to get to the summit, and I really hope that the weather holds up today, because if this trail is wet and difficult, we might have to turn around.
Now, if you compare Mount Santubong against most mountains, this mountain isn't tall. In fact, it is shorter than the tallest building in the world at 810 meters. And you would think, how difficult could this be?
I can't believe it. We were just like 100 meters in and there's already a river crossing. He made it look so easy. Now it's my turn. That wasn't too bad. Let's go.
Mount Santubong Trail is a 6.6 kilometers out and back trail broken up into 15 different posts. The journey begins at Park HQ, passing by a waterfall at post 5, and if you are fast, you can conquer the first 7 posts within 1.5 hours. And if you think that the first 7 posts were pretty straightforward, wait till you arrive at post 7. Post 7 to the summit may only be 1.3 kilometers each way, but this was one of the most complex, most challenging trails that we had to conquer, and probably more difficult than Mount Mababu.
All of a sudden it is raining right now, so I hope this rain stops a little bit later on and that the conditions are a little bit better. So let's see.
So far we've climbed for an hour and we got to the waterfall, and the next point will be to get to the F7 viewpoints and then to the summit. So from the HQ to the waterfall is difficulty 5 to 7, and from here onwards to the peak is difficulty 7 to 9.
As the trail steepens from here, we found ourselves needing to catch our breath more often. On some parts of the journey, we literally had to be on all fours, especially after post 7.
So nonchalant in the way that you love me, indifferent to the ways that you wound me. I know the love is real, despite what my heart can't feel. They say stand up for the things you can't stand to lose.
It says it's only 1.3 kilometers. Kind of like means that you can do it very quickly, but I don't think so. I really hope it doesn't rain, man.
Right now we are at post 12 and we have to get to post 15, and we have about 1 hour to the cutoff time. I don't know if we can make it. We met 2 other hikers and they were saying that they decided to turn around and head down. So we are sitting right here trying to decide whether we should get up there. If it's just an hour, I'm thinking we give ourselves an hour. We see how far we can go. Maybe we can get to the summit. And then if we can't, we'll just turn back down.
Since cutoff time is 1 PM, we knew we had to power through the final stretch before we reached the summit. And when we knew we were only 50 meters away, we summoned every last ounce of our strength, pushing ourselves beyond the limits to conquer the peak before the cutoff time expired.
This is the best thing I've ever seen in the past 1.5 hours.
We are right above the clouds. If you look out there, it's all clouds. You can't even see the ground from up here. Almost there.
Oh my gosh, yes! Woo! We're here! Puncak Santubong Summit, 810 meters. Yeah!
I want you to fight for me. I want you to fight for me.
I had some doubts that we were going to make it. Firstly, we did not train for this at all. And at the foot of the mountain, we saw people with like proper hiking gear and like the hiking sticks and everything full on. But we only had one bag between the both of us. And like, I don't know, I thought we were just like, oh, 2 young dumb kids trying to conquer a mountain that required a lot more. But we made it!
Yes, we made it! And we made it 30 minutes before the cutoff time.
Getting down the mountain was a challenge. We spent slightly more time getting down than going up due to the complexity of the terrain. But we got back down safely to the park headquarters right at the 4 PM closing time.
It's been 7 hours since we started this hike, and I'm finally proud to say that we are at the last 100 meters. I think this is one of the toughest trails that we have gone on because there's ladders, 17 of them in total, about 3 kilometers for 810 meters, as if you're starting from almost at ground zero.
Woo!
As the sun cast a warm glow upon the rugged terrain, we left Mount Santubong behind, as well as the realization that with perseverance and unwavering determination, anything is possible.
They say stand up for the things you can't stand to lose.
The next morning, we drove 90 kilometers away from Kuching to go on a trail that supposedly hosts one of the rarest flowers in the world, the rafflesia. The trail is situated at Gunung Gading National Park, a park in Sarawak that is closer to the Indonesian border than Kuching City.
We don't think that we can climb up Gunung Gading today. Definitely not to the peak, but There might be a couple of waterfalls. We might try to visit one of them.
We've just registered at the visitor center and now we are about to head to the Rafflesia trails. Over the past couple of days, we've been checking the Facebook page to check the statuses of the Rafflesia buds. Apparently there are 3 buds, bud A, bud B and bud C, and some of them have died and some of them have not bloomed yet. So I'm hoping that we'll get lucky and we'll spot a Rafflesia.
Excited! We're starting our trail! This trunk is so curly. No idea how it twines itself all the way up there.
Even though we've been walking on concrete slabs, my legs are hurting so badly from the hike yesterday. I do not know, are we even going to find any real Rafflesia?
A few moments later.
Oh my gosh! I found a Rafflesia. We found this 10 ringgit on the ground and I was asking Aaron if it was his because we paid 14 ringgit to get in and I was thinking that this was a 10 ringgit change from the 15 ringgit that we gave. But I don't know if it's his, but I found a Rafflesia.
One of the reasons why Rafflesias are so hard to find is because insect pollinators have to visit both the male and the female flowers, and these flowers may not be in close proximity to each other. Also, buds have a high level of mortality. Only 10 to 18% are able to bloom, and blooming only lasts for a few days. After looking around for some time, we found a decomposing Rafflesia at the foot of a tall tree.
It's kind of interesting to see how the Rafflesias are past its prime because there are still a lot of ants and flies and other insects trying to decompose it.
After the Rafflesias, we continued on the trail to one of Gunung Gading's waterfalls.
This is awesome! What a really interesting way to end the 3 days worth of hike by a waterfall. After 3 days of hiking onto trails, obviously I feel a little bit tired. My legs are a little bit sore. But what a way to end it off with an amazing waterfall that we get to soak ourselves in for just a bit. And now we're heading back to the city and I'll see you in our next video.